Hi, welcome to Menopause Chicks. I'm very excited about this next conversation where we are going to talk about hormone therapy, which is not new to this community, but specifically what we're going to talk about today might be new to many of you. So I know a little bit about hormone therapy. I've done, my own research. We've talked about it a lot. But today we're going to talk about a specific mode of delivery. And before I get too much down the line here, I want to introduce our guest. So CarolAnn Tutera, welcome to Menopause Chicks.
Thank you.
Would you
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
I am CarolAnn Tutera. I'm the owner of Pellets Therapy. That's been around since 1992.
Okay.
And that's what I do. I help build and expand awareness about the hormone pellet therapy across the globe.
Yeah, so pellet therapy has come up a number of times in the Menopause Chicks community. As some of our members who are probably watching this may be patients or clients of you, but I think that there's a number of women who might be confused or not aware of all of the options that are available to them. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so tell me exactly what you mean by options.
Well, I think,
in
the decision-making tree that a woman goes through in terms of arriving at, is hormone therapy right for me? Then when you get to that decision, you think, yes, this is something I want to explore. There are, you can have a prescription, you can have pills from your doctor, you can have gels, creams, suppositories, or pellet therapy, correct?
Correct. That's right. There's quite a few different modalities out there. Now, pellets have been around since 1939.
39.
They've been, pardon me?
I just said, wow.
Yeah, well, they've been around a lot longer than people realize. They've been in medical journals all over the world. My late husband has articles in a couple of those journals, and there's probably well over 1,500 articles about pellets. My late husband, Dr. Tutera, was an OBGYN, and he fully believed in treating women with a natural product. He was using progesterone to save pregnancies back in the late 70s in the Midwest, before anybody else was doing it. So when we moved to Rancho Mirage, California in 1992, and he was taught how to do pellets, he said that was the key to the missing puzzle he'd been searching for quite some time in order to help women with a natural modality.
And describe for us, what is pellet therapy?
Pellet therapy is a small, about the size of a grain of rice, that slip painlessly under the skin. It was developed actually for women who'd had radical hysterectomies, and it would help with their not going full-blown into menopause. Pellets actually are, since they are under the skin in the hip area, it's a painless procedure that is done with an anesthetic, less than 10-15 minutes in the office. You're good to go once it's completed. No exercising though for a couple of days. We want to make sure they stay secure. So it's probably the only doctor's office that'll tell you to stay home, relax, and enjoy yourself.
Awesome. And is it progesterone that's in the pellet?
No, it's pure estradiol and testosterone, because that's exactly what our body used to produce. And my late husband had a great analogy of showing it. So if this is the hormone that your body produced, this is exactly what the pellet would give back. It matched completely what the body was producing. The pellet is slipped painlessly into the subcutaneous fat in the hip, and it's controlled by the bloodstream. The blood going by it goes into the bloodstream, bypassing the liver. There's no sludging like you would take with a pill. There's nothing to, there's no creams, so you don't know if you put on the right amount. There's no patch that could fall off in humidity. It truly is the best modality for replacing what the body produced of estrogen and testosterone.
Right on. So who would be your ideal client then?
Actually, anyone who has an issue remembering, who has night sweats, can't lose weight, has the foggy thinking, they're losing the elasticity in their skin, and they just know something's just not right anymore. Right now, we're seeing patients as low as late 20s who have hormone issues.
Really?
Because we feel it has to do with the environment and all the chemicals in the food anymore.
Right, or lack of nutrition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting. So describe for me then the process for a woman to work with you. Do you test first and then?
Absolutely. We have everyone test their lab work before they are treated, after so many weeks after they're treated, because we look at this as a true science. In the past, when Premarin pills were around, they were giving you a pink one, a yellow one, a green one, just to fit your symptoms. Dr. T said it's like giving out Tic Tacs. If this didn't work, we'll give you this color Tic Tac. If that didn't work, we'll give you a different color Tic Tac. But we have everyone do their panel of blood work. He got it down to a science, so there was no reason to run a huge litany and have a large fee of running lab work. And they sit down then with the provider. They go over their symptoms, they share their history, and they go over the review of the lab work to see if they're a candidate for it.
Okay. And then the prescription is administered, and what does monitoring look like? Is it, every few months, or describe that for us?
Once they've been inserted, the patient will have lab work in 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. So again, we're rechecking to make sure your levels got to where they were. Okay. You'll come back 2 weeks following your lab work to have a consultation again to make sure everything is on key. And we like to dose on the conservative side. It's easier to add up if you think you need more. Okay. Then a woman is normally seen 3 to 4 times a year, and male, we do treat men. They're coming in about twice a year.
That's good to know. I
so
like
it's pretty easy.
The conservative approach, because you're constantly monitoring, but you probably don't have to expect so many drastic changes, right? It's gradual.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I noticed, because I'm a patient too, I had the insides of a 70-year-old woman when I was in my early 40s, and I was shocked. I didn't think I was that bad.
Right.
Had the pellets, and then my night sweats went completely away. I was able to sleep at night again, and I was able to, I loved to exercise, but I couldn't lose weight. So I was able to actually lose the weight because the testosterone gave me that boost of energy that I needed to actually get everything back in sync. So it was wonderful.
Amazing. So what are some of the questions that a woman should be asking you? I'm thinking, is there an exit strategy? What do I need to know in terms of being my own best health advocate and doing the research before I maybe show up at one of your offices?
We tell everyone to research every modality that's out there, including pills, patches, and creams. We tell everyone to make sure you find a provider who does lab work and follows you constantly. Our offices, we have medical providers or physician extenders see the patients. I don't believe in just having someone come in and see an MA and be treated and you're out the door. Right. We really give personal attention, and it's important that the patient feel comfortable about what they're doing when they go in to see the provider. So they're going to want to make sure they were trained correctly, and we've been training for a very long time. Since the late 90s, we've been training, and we've got a technology side to make sure that the physicians we trained are able to watch the patients as well. I think they have to feel comfortable with who they're seeing and right. know that that provider has been trained properly, and with somebody who actually cares about the providers. who make sure the patients in turn get taken care of properly. That's what's key to us. We want to make sure that patients come first, not a bottom line dollar.
Right, right. So should a woman be asking about an exit strategy?
There really is no exit strategy, because this is, you want to keep your hormones going. We want you to age gracefully, we say. So you stay on hormones as long as you can. What we're finding though, as we age, and myself particular, I'm not needing the pellets as often as I did maybe 5 years ago, maybe when I first started, because of the aging, and the internal system is changing as we change the clock, you can say. So I don't need to be treated as often. And we have one patient who, she comes in twice a year because she sits on her rocker at her cabin in the mountains, and there's no stress in her life, and raw to her. Lucky her.
Right, right. That's good. I was thinking, you know, your work and my work, we spend a lot of time meeting women where they are. And at the beginning of this conversation, you talked about, you know, night sweats and foggy brain, and, you know, things that you can really address with this therapy. I'm wondering about some of the long-term benefits. Can you speak to any enhancements that a woman could expect, let's say in brain health or bone health? Some of the
bone health is bone health is a big one. It has helped women with osteoporosis. I can speak personally to that. I had osteopenia, and it was gone within a year, year and a half.
Wow.
We've had other patients report they've gone for bone densities at big clinics around the country, and they've been asked to come back and redo it because they thought maybe the machine was broken after they saw there no longer were osteopenia. My late husband always said that testosterone is the brain protective barrier for, we've got someone who's watching patients on pellets with Alzheimer's diseases. So we're hoping that that really is going to lead us down the way of keeping it at bay.
Okay.
Because you've got the hormones. You know, what we do with pellets is basically physiologically put you back where you were in your 30s. That's when you were at your healthiest. That's when everything was running tip top. And that's what we're looking to do. We're not looking to get rid of symptoms. We want you to feel physiologically tip top. That's what it's about, is feeling good. Because you can't feel good on the inside, you're not going to feel good on the outside about yourself. I don't care how many facials, manicures, and massages you get. I know for a fact, if you're not feeling good in here, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think that's an important conversation for women who are watching this, regardless of what journey they choose for themselves, is menopause, perimenopause, hormone therapy. It's not necessarily about, I have this experience, I want to address it, you know, with a magic wand solution, which is often a conversation in our community. But it's really about, now is such an awesome time in our lives to invest in our health, like you were saying.
Right, and I think that's what women are doing more and more, and we're finding from the general public that we're actually speaking up, we're stating our needs, we're going for what we want, and why shouldn't you be proactive about your health like you're proactive about everything else?
I love that.
That to me is number one. If you're not healthy, nothing else is going to work in your life.
That's amazing. I love that word, proactive. I mean, really, we meet women where they are, but our vision is if we could get to every 35-year-old woman and let her know how to get informed and be proactive with her midlife health, that would be awesome.
Right. I think it's important, and I tell everybody, at least start with a baseline of your hormone levels.
Right.
If you've got a baseline level, you have something to build off of. But if you don't have the baseline, you don't have the building block to get where you need to go. And even if you're doing patches and creams and tablets, you're not doing blood work with those. So how do you know exactly how it's working for you? You're just going off a symptom base.
Right.
So it's really important you read what's out there. We've got some wonderful blogs up on our site from years and years of just testimonials from patients and information, and read it. Absolutely read it.
That's a great
It's
segue.
important.
Tell our community, if they're interested in learning more, how they can work with Sotopelli.
Best thing to do is go to our website, sotopellitherapy.com. You
Okay.
can find a physician that's close to you by putting in a zip code. You can contact us directly by calling our number, talking to one of our new patient coordinators. They'll help direct you where you need to be.
Okay.
And you'll be serviced really nicely.
That's awesome. Now, CarolAnn, is there anything else that you would like to share with us today, or a story or a testimonial you'd like to leave us with?
I think one of my favorite testimonials actually comes from our breast surgeon here in Scottsdale.
Okay.
And she came to us because she knew how important it was to be sharp and clear. And she wanted to see for herself exactly how pellets worked in the body, being the breast cancer surgeon. She had a big midterm test coming up that she needed to do for her CMEs. And she said the first time she had pellets, she said she went to dinner the next night, and she said it was if somebody switched a light bulb on. She was at dinner with her sister, and she told me her body just basically like went shock. Oh my God, I can think again. I can remember. I hear you. And she was so excited by that by the time the test came up, she wanted to make sure her levels were good so she could stay in the running and she could keep up with the younger ones who are taking tests. And I think that's what we're finding. As we women are aging, we want to make sure we're just as sharp as everybody in their 20s and 30s.
Absolutely.
What better way to do it?
That's awesome.
That's the story.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about the opposite end of that, women don't always know when the light switch goes off, because that's, often a gradual decline, but you sure know that when you address your health and find the journey that's right for you, and you feel that light switch going back on, that's pretty amazing.
It's really amazing. And we hear that. We hear it all the time by people say, I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt great.
That's right.
And then the husbands come in at the next appointment, and I've seen so many come through who said, thank you for giving me back my wife. It's that's why I do it. I love helping people.
That's a great story. Great story. CarolAnn, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I'm going to wrap this up, but I want to maybe add on something to the end. So could you talk about men and the men that you treat for a few minutes?
Absolutely. We have quite a few men who come in because the women are feeling so great that the husbands are not able to keep up with them. Now, the men have this great gland called denial, and it's not the river in the Nile. And they love to say, oh, it's work. Oh, it's stress. Oh, it's whatever. But once they too realize how great they're feeling, it's relationship changing is what it is. They're finally also realizing it's okay to say, I'm not feeling great. So we treat men as well. They're seen at least twice a year.
Okay.
And they don't have to worry about taking an injection, which can help spike the levels, because the pellets keep it at a nice steady stream of hormone that consistently goes through. You put it in, you forget it, and they're happy campers because men don't like shots. So they're real happy doing this.
Right. And what would be the most common scenario? What would a man be feeling before he might arrive in your office?
Almost the same symptoms as a woman. They get home at night, they're tired, they sit down, they fall asleep, they really give up on exercising, they're gaining weight in the midsection, the sexual desire is gone. We all pretty much are the same type of people. We all have those same cruddy feelings as we age. We know something's off, but we can't quite figure out what it is.
Yes. And as I like to say, I mean, we all deserve quality of life. So Let's
We do.
put our own name at the top of our to-do list and make that so.
Absolutely. It's important we take care of ourselves, because if we can't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. And as women, we're great caregivers.
That's right. That's right. CarolAnn, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and helping us learn about pellet therapy. We will put your website up here so everyone knows how to reach you. And I look forward to speaking with you again sometime.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.